Rejuvelac is a fantastic byproduct of fermenting grain that brings you tons of probiotics, which help you absorb and assimilate all the great food that you're eating. So it really gives you a big bang for the buck. It's easy to make. You'll need 3 half-gallon jars, a strainer, purified or filtered water, and organic grain. Most grains will work. In this case, we use dry. Each step in the process literally takes minutes. You'll be rinsing and washing and adding water to the grain or not. So let's start. First, measure out 3 cups of grain. Then rinse the grain well in the sink with the filtered or purified water. Pour the grains into the jar and top it off with 2 to 3 inches of the filtered or purified water. Then cover the jar with a dish towel to keep out the light and top it off with a paper towel to allow air to continue to circulate.
So by now we get a sense that we're rinsing the grain and we're getting it filled with filtered liquid water, so that we want to bring it to a stage where it is sprouting, and then the sprouted grain is what gets fermented. But we need to go through this rinsing process so it's moist but not damp. We don't want it to get slimy and moldy. So now we went through stage 1, step 1, which was rinsing the grain and letting it sit with 2 or 3 inches of water above it. And that was 12 hours. And the next stage 2 was another next 12 hours, same thing. Step 3 was rinsing it and then not adding water and letting it sit for 24 hours in the dark. And the step 4 was letting it sit for 24 hours and rinsing it twice in that 24-hour period. And that's where I am now. I've come to that stage. I rinsed it twice yesterday. So now, as you can see, there are little sprouties on there. And I'm going to rinse it, and I'm going to divide it into these 2 jars over here because it also doubled in volume. So they get a nice little shake, and then they're on their merry way. Do that a couple times a day, and they can sit for 3 days. So it was 3 days to get it to this point, and it's 3 more days.
Do the seesaw shake with a tight lid on each jar morning and night, and when you're done you'll have the slightly opaque liquid that's a little fizzy. You're going to strain it into a bowl, and then you're going to pour that into this jar and measure out about 4 ounces per person per meal. And don't throw the grains away because you're going to make a second batch from the same first 3 cups. Just like you did before, rinse, put in the jar, 4 inches of water above, tighten the lid. Here you see on the left the second batch of grain that's ready to go, and on the right the first, which is ready to be consumed. Go to our website, you'll see the recipe and all the steps and the instruments you need. Give it a try. It's cheap, it's easy to make, and it will make you healthier.